Please be sure to arrive early. The media will call will open at 1 o'clock, so if you requested a credential will be there starting at 1 o'clock. Any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call or an email. But look forward to having you guys all out here this weekend. And just a reminder to please have all your cell phones off here for press conference. And if you will raise your hand for the mic, if you have a question for Coach Tanner, we'll have Coach Tanner start with an opening statement and then open it up to questions.
Looking forward to getting underway here tomorrow. It looks like we're going to have a beautiful weekend of weather, and Santa Clara's in town. They worked out a little bit earlier. They're still out here, I think, and they got an outstanding team. I got a chance to visit with Coach O'Brien a little bit, so we're looking forward to getting underway.
Questions?
Coach, can you talk about some of the decisions you made regarding the 35-man roster, in particular Brett Worsham and Will Leathers, and why they did not make the team?
I'm not going to get into too many specifics other than, we tried to put together a team within NCAA guidelines of 35 that we felt would give us the best opportunity, and right now that's what we've done. Worsham is a guy that has done pretty well on occasion, caught a little bit, but we also had some other catchers that are ahead of him, and he's got some soreness in his shoulder, so he's probably not 100% physically. And Will Leathers, you mentioned, he's a freshman, just not quite ready at this time.
I know you want this year to be about this year, but is it okay if tomorrow is a little bit about last year?
Well, I'm okay with it a little bit, but the truth of the matter is that it is time to turn the page. And it's a great memory, and it's okay to draw from it, but from this point forward, we're gonna try to do the best we can to put a good club on the field in 2011.
Do you think they've done a good job with that? I know there's a lot of new guys that weren't there, but the guys that were, do you think they've kind of put that behind them?
Well, I think so. One of the things that helped us, a season ago was the experience that we had. And we weren't a great club all the time, but we were a team with some perspective that I mentioned in the past. And the maturity helped us a lot in some difficult situations. We never lost more than 2 games in a row, and I believe the experience plays a big role in that. And those guys, we got a lot of guys back. So I think that certainly they have the maturity to know that what happened in the past is in the past, and then we got to move forward.
Coach, having said that, how do you feel about your team following just the last few months, few weeks of the scrimmages and practice?
Well, I feel okay, but there's some questions. I mean, there's definitely some questions out front with the pitching staff. When you lose, 200 plus innings that we did out front, Dyson and Cooper, and some innings that Jay Brown had, that's very, very important. We've got some guys that I think are capable, some guys with experience, some guys that were on the staff last year, but they got to be better. They got to be better now. We've got to find some guys to assume those innings. And that seems to be a question right now. We've got a rotation for the weekend, but it's very probable, well, maybe not probable, but it could happen that the guys that pitch this weekend as starters may not be the starters next weekend. They're out there for a reason this weekend, but there's some other guys that are capable, and it's more about performance now to maintain your position. Blake Cooper a year ago was going to pitch. If he had 2 or 3 bad outings, he was still going to get an opportunity. Some of these guys are not there. So if they're not really sharp and impressive, somebody else will get an opportunity.
Coach Tanner, this weekend talking about your pitching rotation, all lefties, have you ever been this heavy with left-handers, and is there an advantage or does it make any difference?
Well, I don't know that there's any advantage. I like the fact that left-handers seem to have more success when your stuff is not as good as maybe a right-hander. You can hold runners a little bit better in most cases. And the one year I believe we were in the College World Series, maybe 2003, with Bondurant, Campbell, and Marchbanks. They were all lefties. So we'll see what happens.
Phil?
Ray, did your fellow SEC coaches do you a favor when you talk about turning the page and looking ahead to this season, forgetting last year, by voting you no better than 3rd in the East? That's sort of a reality, slap back reality for your guys, where you can say, hey, even the coaches in the league don't think you're that good.
I don't know if they took the attitude that we're not that good, but they put two teams ahead of us that have rotations back. Quality pitching out front and experienced position players. So I'd like to finish better than that, but I don't think that is any disrespect, because those two teams you're talking about in Florida and Vanderbilt are very, very good, and they do have quality pitching up front.
Rick?
Ray, can you share with us what you will tell the team tomorrow, moments before they take the field for the first time as defending national champions?
Well, the most important thing for me is that you play relaxed and you have fun. You try to eliminate the mental mistakes and just play baseball. And the chips fall where they may. Sometimes that's a lot easier said than done, but that's the most important thing. Is don't try to be somebody you're not. And we're very blessed. We're very fortunate. We're going to have a great crowd that we have had here at Carolina Stadium, and these guys are in a great position. You got to embrace the opportunities you have and the time in your life and have fun with it, and don't get involved in the tension, the anxiety, and the butterflies. Just go with it and try to play some good baseball.
Coach, can you talk about your injured players, where they are physically, Marzilli, Mooney, and also how have you been pleased one way or the other with Dante Rosenberg's back and how he's been able to perform physically through the preseason?
Well, first of all, Colby Holmes hasn't been mentioned. He missed a few days of practice, 3 or 4 days of practice with strep throat, and he's working his way back. He may or may not be available this weekend, and if he does pitch, it'll probably be in a very short stint. Dante Rosenberg, his back has responded pretty well. I don't think he's in a position that he could be an everyday catcher, but other than Landon Powell, we probably haven't had one catcher that did the majority of the catching, and certainly Ender did at the end of the year last year, but Brady had 20 starts too. So Dante seems to be okay right now. He's playing pretty well. Mooney and Marzilli have made progress. I think they're going to be cleared, by our doctors and Brainerd Cooper to play. So we'll see. I'm a little cautious because they'll be anxious, but they're both expected to play.
Yeah.
But Ray, what were your thought processes in terms of Roth giving opening day, Webb going next, and what's going to determine whether it's more on Sunday?
Well, I think that more than anything else, Webb has pitched pretty well, since he got here, and his practice opportunities have been really good. And he could have pitched tomorrow. I think we went with Roth because he is an experienced guy. It's his 3rd year in the program. He has been in some tough situations, be it in relief or in a starting role. And we just felt like, as far as opening day, excitement, extra energy, that he would be the right guy to keep things in check tomorrow. His poise and composure are outstanding, so we felt that probably was the main reason to put him out front. Westmoreland on Sunday is likely, but Neff has pitched equally as well, so it could be either one of those guys.
Back.
With the warmer weather the last few days, have you noticed a bigger difference of the ball jumping off the bat?
Maybe a little bit. I think that's only normal, but not to the point that I'm expecting lots of home runs. I can't speak for Santa Clara. They may hit their share, but we've hit a few more in practice, in batting practice, but I think the warmer weather helps, but it remains to be seen how much. I've been on the phone a lot this week with some other coaches, and we're all throwing out percentages on how many you'll hit from last year. I'm not sure. I would think if we hit 60% of what we hit last year, it's a really good year. I'm thinking across the country it could be 50% or so. Only time will tell.
Tim?
We always talk about expectations this time of year, and you always say expectations are a good thing, especially after last year, though. What's going to be a successful season for you?
I haven't changed since I started coaching, and you sort of take it one game at a time, and I know that's coach speak, but at the end of the day, if you win enough games, be it any particular fashion, in the East, overall, midweek, if you win enough games to get to the postseason, it's been a pretty good year. And then you go from there. You try to get to that point, and then you see if you can play well at the right time. And that's essentially what happened for us last year. We're not a great team, we were a good team, and at the end of the year, a lot of people thought we were a great team. But we had to get into postseason first, and that really is a simple goal. You can't lose that opportunity this weekend, you can't win that opportunity. But the numbers will tell the tale along the way. And that's always my goal. Let's play some good baseball, try to play consistently enough and win enough that at the end of the year you get a chance to continue playing. And that's really the only thing I think about.
Any other questions for Coach? No?
How about this Packers? Last year, you played so well in the field. The fielding percentage was extremely high, and you had great pitching. When you look at this team, can you see that same combination carrying this team this year?
You know, with the change in the offense, if it is a change, pitching and defense, you can say any year, any level, major leagues, minor leagues, little league, that it's important. It may be at the all-time premium in college baseball, pitching and defense. I just don't think the runs are going to be plentiful, and you can't even give away a base, a walk. You play good defense, and I think we're very capable of playing outstanding defense. I think we can pitch, although we have to prove up front that we got guys that can eat those innings that have departed. I like our experience, I like our arms, but I can't tell you right now who are going to be the 2 or 3 guys that eat the bulk of those innings on the weekend. It's just not clear enough at this point. I don't think that is necessarily a negative. I just don't think the question has been answered, and some guys are going to get an opportunity to do that. So there's some teams in our league that have outstanding pitching, and that's important. We think our pitching is good, but we can't tell you who those guys are going to be up front yet. But we are capable. I believe very much so. We're capable of playing some great defense with our outfield, especially. Morales is back, Wingo is back, Walker is probably a plus defender at first base, and Mooney is as good as we could have gotten to replace Bobby Haney from a recruiting standpoint. So he's very capable as well.
Any other questions? Thank you.